I want to do a 3, 2, 1 clap. Am I ready?
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, that was a bad clap. Sorry. Do it again.
It was
Okay.
It can't be that good for Audacity to get it right.
It doesn't even go to the top. Like, it's like
God.
It was like a very
Okay.
soft, wet clap. I didn't like it.
I dropped off all the things I love. Like I need a traffic jam to keep in touch. I can't focus on the words unless my hands are busy. I can't give up on the world or I will leave this city. And it's way too broad what I'm trying to say, but I'll write it down and let it go. And it's hard to know all the words I need to explain my heart in a single note.
Hello, and welcome to WayTooBroad, a show and tell program for really, really ridiculous, excitable grown-ups. I'm Hannah, and these are my co-hosts, Erin and Ben. Hi, Erin.
Hello, Hannah. Hello, Ben.
Hello.
Hello.
Hell yeah.
Moose just came up here to drink water while we were doing our hands up room tone, and I'm worried that it got caught on the mic. I don't think it did though. She's a loud drinker.
Sweeks.
Moose
came up to your desk to drink water.
It's like in the hallway. I think it's fine. Yeah. She's so fucking cute. I can't handle it.
In that hallway, there are two bowls there.
Yes.
There's like the really big blue one.
Yeah.
And are those both water bowls for drinking? What's the deal with that?
Yes. Actually, the little one with the fish in it, this is for nobody because Ben is the only one who's seen this bowl. But the little one with the fish in it was a gift from our Aunt Deanie because she does pottery.
Aww.
And it was perfect as a water bowl for the kittens when they were in the separate room. And now they're not in a separate room anymore, and the other water bowl was already there, so now they have two water bowls in the hallway. But
Gotcha.
You know what's funny about the reason that we use such big, heavy bowls for water is because Jack used to... anything that was light enough that he could knock it over, he would knock it over when it came to water.
Oh, rude.
And then yesterday, the kittens knocked over the big, heavy water bowl. But it was mostly empty, so it was okay.
Did they teamwork?
I don't know. Probably. Like, they're like, Ben can attest, like, they're kind of like a whirlwind when they get into a certain state. And so they'll just, like, come through and, like, fuck up. It's like Tasmanian devil type, behavior, basically.
Yeah. Totes.
So she's drinking from both of them. She's, like, drinking from one and then drinking from the other one. So they like
Luxurious.
it. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of a perfect segue to what are we drinking?
Yes. Moose is drinking water, but what are we drinking? Erin, what are you drinking?
Okay, I'm drinking a Trader Joe's watermelon lemonade seltzer. It's fine.
Nice.
It's non...
Really, what's the watermelon element of that like?
Yeah. Not aggressive. Like, oh, just a hint.
Okay, that's good.
Which I think is good, because watermelon can get... I was highly sus of it, because watermelon can really get in your face, but it's not in your face. It's like politely in the corner.
That's good.
Yeah, keeping to itself. And I also have this is a happy hour, Friday happy hour edition of WayTooBroad, which I love. And I've got a Molly Chomper Schoolhouse Blend Hard Cider.
Ooh.
Fun.
It's got a cute little goat on it.
It does.
And it's bottled by Molly Chomper, Lansing, North Carolina. Semi-dry, tropical fruit, and butterscotch flavors with balanced acidity.
Have you tried it yet?
No, I haven't. About to.
I hope it's terrible.
Is that goat Black Phillip?
Yeah, thank you. This is probably Black Phillip. This is a 6.4. That's the ABV on this bad boy.
Nice.
All right. Let's give it a... And this is a... how big is this bottle?
I don't know.
This is like a 6... This is like a kind of... more than 60 ounces, maybe a 20-ounce bottle. Here, I brought a glass. That beautiful hard cider color.
Looks nice.
It's a filtered
tasty.
cider, looks like.
It's filtered. That's really nice. It is semi-dry. It's got... Yeah, butterscotch is a good characteristic. It's delicious.
So it's kind
Great.
of Sweet-ish. A little bit sweet.
Yeah, sweet. A little bit sweet. Not very tart. It's, I'm not a good describer. Let's see. Got a nice apple flavor.
I would hope so.
Yeah. It's got like a nice dry finish and apples in the mouth, I'd say. So
Is it wet, would you say, as a drink?
yeah. Yeah, wet on the palate for sure. And then
Dry once it all goes away.
yeah, I would say smooth in the gullet. Absolutely. And yeah, I'd say crisp on the teeth. For sure.
But soft to the tongue.
Yeah, wet and round.
Just like an apple.
Like an apple in the mouth.
Crisp and wet and round.
That sounds great. Ben,
good.
what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Moose's favorite drink. Water.
Water.
Out of 2 cups, like Moose.
I already finished the first one, But yes, actually.
Wow.
One's smaller
Moose
than the
likes
other.
to alternate. Moose likes to alternate, though.
I like to
Yeah.
finish one, then go to the other, personally.
Fair.
Moose can't relate to that. I have 3 drinks. One of them's for later. Excuse me.
That's like a very, like, intriguing comment. One's for later.
Yeah. I have water. And I have a beer. It's called Moonhill Brewing Fruit-Infused Sour Beer. The beer is called Candy Mountain Charlie. And it's got
Yum.
Charlie from Candy Mountain on it.
Oh my god, that fucking video.
Yeah.
How is it?
That's a throwback.
It's really good. So I was just looking at their website and they do actually like rotating fruits in them. So like the one they have available right now is red raspberry, but the one that I have is plum flavored, or it's like plum infused. So it's good.
Nice.
I wouldn't say, I don't really know that I taste the plum. It's just kind of a nice sour with like, and they say on their website that the red raspberry is their favorite. So maybe I'll go pick that one up because this place is like right down the street from us, which is pretty neat. And they have,
Pretty neat.
they have a restaurant that, it's like good pub food that is like at the same location, and they have they do takeout, and they actually do like car side, like bring it to your car, and they also let you order Moonhill Brewing beers as part of your takeout order. So it's very nice.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. What's the ABV on that bad boy?
What is the ABV? 4.5% ABV.
Nice.
13 IBU. What's that mean?
Isn't that like
bitter.
bitterness?
Oh.
That's pretty
Interesting.
low, I think.
It doesn't mean bitter, but that's like the bitter IBU scale.
International
Beverage.
Bitterness Unit.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Interesting. It's a
I made
pipe.
that up.
It's a pipe.
Oh yeah, International Bitterness Unit.
No shit,
Scale.
really?
International Business Unit.
Wow.
Business bears. And the third
Yeah,
one's just
so
a
it-
lemon spindrift.
I want to tell you, so like a a Berliner Weiss is 4 to 6. A New England IPA is like 25 to 60. An India Pale Ale is like 40 to 60.
Too bitter.
Too bitter.
Too bitter.
But like a brown ale, I tend to like things lower IBU.
But bitter is different from sour.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like
Different,
how those
di-
flavors are different.
Yeah.
Different from
That's right.
umami.
And different from
Right.
sweet, also, if you think about it.
But not different from salty.
No, weirdly, it's the
Describe-
same as salty.
Hey, can you give your beer a can you taste it and describe it like I did on mine?
Okay. I'd say about 13 IBU.
Is it wet?
It's wet. Not anymore because I swallowed it, but it was wet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, wait. Hold on. Wet. It tastes like if you put like a lot of other stuff in water.
Okay, interesting.
Oh.
Like if your
Complex.
water was really really bad. If your water went really bad, that's what it tastes like.
Now, is the bitterness the same as the sourness?
No, sour different from bitter.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it's not very bitter, but it's very sour. A little bit of plum on the palate.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a little sour, so it's
palate.
kind of like stabby in the back of your mouth. You know,
Interesting.
Okay.
Stabby.
Stabby.
sometimes sour can feel a little, not in a painful way, just like feel a little stabby.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, well, that's why you pucker.
What olfactory notes are you getting?
It's like similar to the taste notes where it's like if water went really bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's
So it's
like
bad water.
Very sour brown water.
Yum.
Cheers.
Cheers. The third drink was a lemon spindrift. That's the one that's for later, just because it's
Okay.
not open yet.
I thought the third for later drink was going to be your obsession.
I also thought that.
Oh, sorry.
I feel like that was
The way you were- Yes.
heavily implied.
Absolutely agree with you, Ben. Couldn't agree with you more. This is a first, Ben, but I 100% agree with you.
I kind of actually feel cheated in a way. In a huge way.
Yeah. The wind is out of my sails.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
In a
want to
way.
do any. I don't think we should do the rest of the podcast this week.
Yeah. Great
Yeah,
idea.
I think we're done here.
She left. Oh my God. I'm here all by myself.
Was that a good bit?
That was a good bit. Oh, and Ben's back too. I guess that's okay. So, welcome back, Ben.
Sorry to
now
disappoint. We're
now
back.
you're in a different order.
Oh,
I fixed it.
okay.
Okay. Congratulations
Thanks.
to you.
Good bit, everyone. Yeah. So it's a happy hour. We're all drinking except for Ben. Grab a
I'm
drink with
drinking
us.
something.
Yeah, Ben's drinking something, but it's not extremely rotten water like me. So yeah. So what's up? What's gone on this week? Do we have any upfront
I have an
stuff to talk
upfront.
about? Oh shit!
Oh, great.
Today, the day we're recording this, is March 25th, 2022. It's a very special day. Does anyone know what day it is?
March
I'd be
25th.
amazed if either of you knew this.
Is it your anniversary with Kylie?
Nope.
Is it your...
I probably would have said I couldn't record the podcast if it was my anniversary.
I mean, it's not like a huge deal.
Is it
Is it...
your birthday?
No, it's a birthday.
Oh,
Is it... Oh, is it Como's birthday?
It's Como's birthday.
Yeah.
come on!
Como is 5 years old today. Can you believe it?
Wow.
Wow.
My sweet little son. He's grown so much
What a
from our
babe.
little baby to the big boy he is now, and he's 5 whole years old.
How old was he when you got him?
Like a few months. We got him
Wow.
in. Let's see. He was born March 25th, 2017, and we got him I think May 31st. So he was like 2
Wow.
months old.
Wow, a tiny boy.
Yeah, he was
baby.
real small, and then he grew real fast and kept growing for a while. And he's stopped now, obviously, because he's almost 5, or he is 5. But he's gotten quite big, and we love him. But he's just as sweet and just as much of an angel. He's a very fragile boy, and that's okay, and we love him for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
In what way is he fragile?
He just gets kind of like when Hazel doesn't get to be around Kylie, who she's obsessed with, she gets worked up about it and gets really mad and demanding that Kylie comes out of whatever room she's in or whatever. Como also really likes to be around us, but he'll either just quietly mew at the door rather than yelling or anything, or he'll just kind of lay down sad somewhere. And he just sometimes needs some pets to feel better. Yeah, and he gets weirdly, Hazel's more of a scaredy cat, but he gets weirdly upset by things sometimes, and he just needs some pets to feel better. He's just an emotionally fragile boy. Also, we figured out very late into the game that part of the reason, at least we think part of the reason that he was really bad with Hazel was that he was jealous and not great at expressing it.
No.
And so he was just like mad that we were spending more time with her. So like they've been a lot better lately, and I think part of that is we've been a lot more deliberate about like making sure that he gets as much attention, if not more, than Hazel whenever we're like, you know, playing or whatever, or cuddling with her. Just to make sure he feels okay.
Oh,
Yeah, he's a
fragile
sweet boy.
boy.
He's a fragile boy, you know? He's just a sweet, fragile boy, and we love him.
yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes it be like that.
It's true.
I too have an upfront.
Oh, happy birthday, Como, I should say, though. Okay, what's your
Happy birthday, Como. Shout out to Como. Well, after our discussion about Dead Eyes last week, remember I was like, oh yeah, I think I listened to just season 1. I had listened to like 2 entire episodes. That's it.
Oh.
Wow.
And so between last week and this week, I'm now on episode 18. Like, I have been chewing through it. Yeah. And so it's great. I feel like it really walks that line between being like it really walks the line of he says his name every fucking podcast, Connor Ratliff's ego. Like, it just like is so fine. Sometimes it tilts into I'm like, okay, Connor.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's just he uses it to, like, for it to be really interesting, and I really enjoy it. And just the kinds of conversations he can end up having with like celebrities we know is just really great. Everything everyone's already said about it, it's great and interesting. And I feel more motivated to listen to it because I'm so anxious to get to this last episode. Like, I don't know if I would have revisited it otherwise. So, yeah, loving it.
I agree with you, though. Yeah, sometimes I'm like, this is the definition of a vanity project. There's just in these moments, and then you know, they draw bigger conclusions, and he has like really interesting conversations. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah, right.
this is fine.
Right.
This is normal.
Yeah, totally.
But it was a big, impactful thing. Like it changed his life for many years. So
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Asshole.
Absolutely.
Erin, I want an update on your janky treadmill desk.
Yeah. Update is I'm continuing to love treadmill desk, and I have not changed anything about my janky setup whatsoever. I have not pulled my treadmill further from the wall. I have not
that's an
retaped my
easy one.
shelf. I attempted to pull it, and I was like, oh, it's a little heavy, and then I just didn't. If it had like easily kind of scooched, I would have, but I was just like, and I didn't. I did just like feel under it just to make sure the tape still felt pretty good, and then just hop back on. But I had another moment where, like, I swear to God, it was like, I was like, oh, let me just hop on here for like a power half hour to like read through this stuff. And then it was like literally an hour later. And I was like, wow, where did that time go?
Hell yeah.
But like, I had done stuff, obviously. So yeah, I really should up I'm thinking about just properly getting one of the under the desk things. Like, I think I'm just feeling like I'll, instead of spending $80, just like saving that $80. Because the under the desk thing is like $600, which is a lot. But if I really like it, then I could be at my desk with my like big monitor and everything and be doing it there. So
Yeah, true.
anyway, a lot to think about.
A lot to think about.
Hashtag a lot to think about.
That's right. I also want, because I think she might hear this, want to give a shout out to our sister-in-law, Federica, who I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because it's not my story to tell, but she's dealing with a lot of crap this week. So
Freaking shout out.
Freaking
We're
shout
thinking
out.
about you, bud.
we love you.
Really thinking about you. We love you.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, we do not have any emails, as far as I can tell.
Do we have any spemails?
She didn't say no. She's checking.
No, I'm just looking.
Just checking.
Looking to see
Check our
if.
spemail. Check our spemail.
Do we have any P-mail?
Okay, you remember a while back when we got subscribed to a website called pinkcupid.com and we were getting matches?
Yes. Yes.
We now are getting matches from RussianCupid.com.
No, that's not really a good time for that. No. Oh my god, it was like the week of when the invasion started that our local CSA box that we get every week has like recipe kits a la HelloFresh or whatever. It's really cute. And we'll get them sometimes. It's just really fun. And they had one that was like, I think it was bad timing, but it was like honoring a Russian tradition. It was like a Russian dish. And all over the branding, it was like, you know, celebrate Russian heritage with this classic dish. And I was like, this feels in poor taste, as it were.
Yeah, I do imagine that they have to get those printed up. I mean, I don't know how many people they have doing it, but there's usually like some amount of lead time. So hopefully not related.
I'm sure it was bad timing.
Terrible timing though.
Yeah. They have also this it's called Papa Spuds for anyone in the Triangle area interested. They have
Fuck yes, that's awesome.
Yeah. It's called Daddy Potato. It's called Papa Spuds and we love it. But they have one of the worst, most functional websites I've ever seen. It's like, I feel like in my life on the internet, I'm constantly plagued by bad web development where you like just simply cannot do the one thing you want to do on the website. And their website is like so terrible, but like completely functional for exactly what you need to do, has never failed me once. And I'm just always like, I gotta give a shout out to these web developers of this bad website that does its job.
Terrible just like visually?
Yeah, it's like
there's like clip art.
Yeah, yes, there's like clip art, there's like
cut off.
Yeah.
Papa Spud.
Yeah. It's just like bad styling.
Yeah, this is not good.
It's like
but it works, you said?
It totally works. I actually need to report that my eggs were broken.
You have to report every time you break your eggs. You're controlling
eggs
Papa
for
Spud.
breakfast
Jeez.
this morning. Thank you, Papa Spud.
Damage. We'll say.
Why are you doing it now?
Well, because I'm thinking about it.
Erin, if you break the eggs, they're not damaged. That's how you use them.
Broken on arrival. See, look, I'm already done.
Eggs
You broke them
broken.
right away?
Oh, we have to do our order. I won't do that now.
Thank you.
They were BOE. I mean BOA.
Broken on eggs and toast.
I have been this is like maybe a pre-obsession. I have been really obsessed with buttery cheesy scrambled eggs with fresh chives from the garden on top. Like when I'm hungry, I'm like, what do I want to eat? I want to eat buttery cheesy scrambled eggs with chives on top. I've made that literally 5 times this week.
I love eggs.
Just ooh.
Eggs are fucking good, man.
Freaking love eggs. Freaking love eggs.
Put a splash of milk in there to make it creamy. Just takes forever to make, but delicious.
Ian's eggs look so gross, and they're always so good. He makes them in this. He puts in a lot of spices, and then they're like gray by the time he's done. But they're delicious. They're like so well spiced. Good.
Like scrambled?
Yeah, his scrambled eggs.
What spicy he
gray.
use?
I don't know. I'm not part of it.
Except for the eating.
Yeah, I am a part of that. All right, should we pop in?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, yes.
No.
No, actually, no.
Actually, I'm going to drop a picture of my scrambled eggs from this morning just because I feel like it.
Okay.
Here's a little glamour shot of my... Oh, I forgot to type okay. Fuck!
Oh, no, it's not going.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I think that made it work.
No, yeah, it did. It did work.
Wow, those look so good.
Yeah.
Those look
like
mac and cheese.
Yeah.
No, they really don't. Look like mac and cheese at all.
What kind of noodles do you use for mac and
invisible
cheese?
ones?
Yeah.
It looked delicious,
Well,
though.
like creamy like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What kind of
Yeah.
cheese you got in there?
Sharp cheddar.
Oh,
Nice.
grated.
That's the good shit.
Grated.
Oh, yes.
And then a lot of butter in the pan, and then I keep them moving so they're kind of almost curd like, and the cheese like disappears into it. It's just, oh man. BRB, I gotta go make some eggs.
I'm gonna make that for
JK?
breakfast tomorrow.
JK, I can't because our eggs are broken.
Well, that's how you use them.
Yeah, we keep
fine.
telling you.
Oh, okay. Oh, so then you don't have to pick the shells out when you're eating.
Pre-cracked.
Oh.
All right, let's pop it.
Okay.
Aaron first.
Me?
Yeah.
You know, I think my freaking obsession is gonna be the Dropout on Hulu.
Oh.
What is this show? I don't know this show at all.
This
I've
is
never
a
heard
show. This is a show about Theranos and Elizabeth Holmes, and it's based on the podcast The Dropout. Was that somebody's obsession?
Might have been mine. I listened to it and I watched the documentary and I've watched like every piece of
Same.
media that's come out about Elizabeth
Same,
Holmes.
and I've had Bad Blood, the book,
Yes,
read to me.
that's right. I listened to that.
Yeah.
I listened to that whole book.
Have you talked about Dropout? It's not. I don't see it on here.
It doesn't sound familiar.
We definitely
Yeah,
have talked about
we talked
Elizabeth
about
Holmes,
Dropout,
but I don't know which piece of media it was.
Yeah, let's look here.
Man, what day of the week did they come out? Because every time I look, there's another one.
Thursday.
Oh.
Thursday. It's Thursday.
It's Thursday. Well, I know that because I wanted to watch it all week, and we had to wait till last night. I'll tell you something about the Dropout. It gives me that drip, is what it is. It's got
Hell
that drip,
yeah.
drip
Why is
Hell
that?
for me. Because I just find the story compelling, and I think the show is really good. And it just, I don't know. I love it. Do you feel that way about it, Hannah?
I was a little bit skeptical at first. Maybe we should first give a little rundown for anyone who's not
Okay.
familiar with the
Thank you.
story. Do you want to? Or
Go for it. You go for it.
Oh, so like the actual true story of Elizabeth Holmes is that she dropped out of college in order to start a startup company called Theranos, which was a company that made a blood testing device that was originally conceptualized as a portable blood testing device that used just like a drop of blood, so you didn't have to like get a needle jab to get blood tests. And the main reason that she dropped out of college seems to be that no one who was actually educated in the field that she wanted to be in believed that it was possible, especially like this one woman mentor she tried to go to who was like, you literally can't do that. And she was like, well, fuck you then. And just like left school. Like, but the really fascinating thing to me, at least, about all of it is like it's basically like a medical device company that was run like a Silicon Valley startup. And it like overpromised at every turn to its investors, and also got tremendously like famous people to invest and join the board and everything. And it was basically all because Elizabeth Holmes was such a like unique and interesting person. And then she just
It was all a fraud. I mean, she was a fraud.
it was all a lie.
It was all a lie.
It all just
and
came
none
apart.
Of it was real. They opened Theranos wellness centers in 42 Walgreens stores. Like it was like real people were getting blood tests and getting inaccurate results because they were doing some like really shady shit, and they weren't like treating the samples properly. And insane, like I mean, the whole thing is insane. I think it's like the whole story has like wild. Is so wild. It has so many points of intrigue.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those real life stories that if it were a fiction story, you would be like, this is so over the top. Like all the things, all the details are so over the top, including, Ben, do you know anything about this story?
A little bit.
Including like Elizabeth Holmes herself, who spoke in an artificially low voice. Like she spoke like this, which is not her real speaking voice. Like she altered
What?
her
Really?
voice and spoke to everybody in it. And it was like people who knew her from before were like, yeah, I don't know what her voice is. Her voice is not that low.
Yeah.
And if you listen to her, you can hear her, like, you're like, that's obviously not her natural voice.
You can tell.
Like she's obviously some sort of like psychopath or something. Like
she and like also after a certain point, not right away when she started up, but like soon after, she started dressing like exactly like Steve Jobs, like on purpose. She like had a real hard on for Steve Jobs. Right away.
She was like always in a black turtleneck.
Always in a black turtleneck.
Yeah, always in a black turtleneck. She also like poached a bunch of people from Apple, or hired people who used to work at Apple. Like hired the women who designed the Apple iPhone. Hired, brought somebody onto the board who used to be a designer there. Like just like was like absolutely just trying to be Steve Jobs.
Yep.
I think a big motivating factor of her dropping out of college was like all of the tech like Silicon Valley heroes of hers dropped out of college.
Yeah, totally.
Like I almost think it was like a status thing. Like she wanted to have a successful company, and like that was what her aim was. So
yeah, I did. So to answer your original question, I am really liking it. I am curious about how much of the sort of personal life stuff of hers is like based on reality versus kind of like written, because it is it's a fictionalized version of this story. There's been a lot of media put out about her, but every other piece of media, one way or another, a book, like documentaries and stuff, has all been like actual footage. There's plenty of actual footage of her from like the media and stuff, but this is Amanda Seyfried playing her, doing a great job. But like there are things that are like parts of her life that I've never heard tell of before, and I don't know if there's stuff that they kind of speculated on or if that's the real thing. And I was skeptical of the whole thing at first because it felt like it was maybe leaning a little sympathetic towards her, which there are things about her that are kind of sympathetic. Like I remember every single time that I've watched anything about her or anything, like I'll no matter how many details I'm informed on, I'll still waffle back and forth between like, did she do this on purpose or did she not do this on purpose? Yeah. But like but like I was worried it was going to be like Elizabeth Holmes did nothing wrong would be like the end of the story, but I don't really think it's going that way.
Oh, no. And I really don't. It's getting less and less sympathetic. I mean, I think it's almost like that lens of her is shifting as the characters in the story are realizing that it's shifting. But I'm going to play this for Ben. Ben, this is like a side-by-side of her fake voice versus like in one interview she accidentally... What?
I wanted to see this. I was going to look up something.
Yeah.
No, it hasn't. Well, if I use traditional words to describe what we're doing, it's hard because people then associate it with conventional processes for analyzing drugs in development or whatever aspects we may be applying our technology to. But no, it hasn't. Well, if I use traditional words...
It's so fake sounding.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that clip, it almost sounds like she was like in real time applying like a voice mod. Yeah.
Also, the music on that video was way too dramatic.
I don't know. It's kind of like fun. I mean, there's just like so many. Like that's kind of like, yeah, the company was a fraud. She was obviously a fraud, but within the company, like all the shady stuff they were doing to like they had like ton of security. They wouldn't let employees who weren't working in the same department talk to each other. They had like,
I mean, it was their like emails constantly, like very actively. Her boyfriend mainly was Sonny.
Yeah. Her secret boyfriend, who was the CEO of the company.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, so all of this, like, I mean, just like the layers of drama, each layer itself would be really interesting, but it's all like in the same story. And then the group of people who ended up bringing her down is also really interesting in how they ended up banding together. I mean, it's just a fascinating story. And so
maybe I'll watch it.
Yeah, to see it dramatized is great.
Yeah.
And again, highly recommend the Dropout Podcast, which has a new season that we're just listening to.
Also,
that covers the trial.
I super loved the book as well. I would recommend the book or the audiobook.
Absolutely. Yeah, the book Bad Blood is by John Carreyrou, who was the original Wall Street Journal reporter to kind of first break the story of like the Theranos, which was like I think at the time a multi-billion-dollar company.
Oh yeah, that's the we didn't even mention that, but it was like the most valuable like biotech company ever or something.
Wasn't there? I feel like there's like a famous video of Elizabeth Holmes being praised by Obama and Theranos being praised at the White House or something.
Maybe. I know I've seen...
Bill Clinton.
Yeah, Bill Clinton.
Has praised her.
She was part of all kinds of like women in business forums and like all kinds of prestigious shit.
A $10 billion evaluation at its peak in 2013 and 2014. Holy shit.
Yep. And it was ultimately George Shultz, who I guess he was Secretary of State. Secretary of the Straits. Secretary of State. And I guess really, he was a famous American guy. He was on the board, and his grandson, a famous American man, his grandson. So he was on the board, and his grandson was just out of college, and so George Shultz got his grandson a job there, just like in the lab. And it was his grandson and his grandson's friend, Erica Chung, I think, who were like, this is all fucked up, and ended up being instrumental in bringing the company down. And like another part of the intrigue is that, you can cut this out if you feel like these are spoilers, but I mean, this is real life. Yeah. Another part of the intrigue was like that Tyler Schultz first went to his grandfather to be like, you need to start asking Elizabeth some questions because we're seeing some really concerning things. We're seeing this, this, and this. And George Shultz was like, you don't know what you're talking about. I don't want you to talk to... It was basically like, don't talk to me about this. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. And so he had to like go against his grandfather, who he like really loved and admired, and who is like universally loved and admired, to like do what he thought was right and help.
Yeah, his grandfather, who was really had really dug in, like beyond that conversation. Like one time tried to corner him into having a conversation with like a really famous lawyer about it, who was Elizabeth's lawyer or Theranos' lawyer. Like,
damn.
So there's just like all these crazy details about the story. Anyway, so the show gives me that drip. You know, I know what's coming, but it still like is fun to see it dramatized. And the show does interesting things. Like, of course, we can't really know like the psyche of Elizabeth Holmes, but the show takes some liberties to try to like show you what they think is going on, or like what could be happening. It like definitely takes a position on it. So
I feel like that would be exciting to watch as someone who knows not that much about the whole thing.
Well, now you know a lot of major plot points, so apologies.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, there's still a lot. There's still a lot of stuff.
There's a whole bunch of stuff.
You just cut this out of your brain.
Cut this out of your brain.
Yeah, I'll just cut it out of my brain.
If you think it's a spoiler.
I'll just cut this part out of my brain.
Yeah, totes.
Ben doesn't care about
Drop Out on Hulu.
Right? You're that guy.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Drop Out on Hulu. The Dropout Podcast, where you get your podcasts. Bad Blood by John Carreyrou.
Taylor Swift.
Also, Bad Blood by Taylor Swift. And John Carreyrou. Ghostwritten by John Carreyrou.
I think that Bad Blood is both a book and a podcast, maybe? I feel like there's a Bad Blood
is a podcast, Hannah.
Are you thinking maybe you listen to the audiobook and that's why you feel that way?
No.
Not everything is a podcast, Hannah.
It's a podcast. It's on Apple Podcasts. Bad Blood, the final chapter.
Not everything is a podcast.
There's anyway, if you're looking for shit about Elizabeth Holmes, man, there's so much of it for you to consume.
You're right. There is a whole podcast.
Not everything is a podcast.
Apparently, it is.
I listened to this. Yeah, I was thinking about like, I don't know how trials work besides all the lawyer dramas I watch, but like if they had to find people to be on the jury who like didn't know anything about this story, if I had been called to jury duty that day and they would have been like, do you know anything about the Elizabeth Holmes story? I would have been like, oh my God, almost only everything I can get my hands on. And they would have been like, you're dismissed. Thank you. Thank you.
I mean, that was I think that's the thing with every celebrity trial. Like OJ's trial, that was tough for them to get a jury together, obviously, because they didn't end up doing a very good job as a jury.
That's right. Yep.
Considering he murdered his ex-wife.
Absolutely did. This is it's confusing to name your podcast Bad Blood, the Final Chapter, because I feel like I'm missing something.
Yeah, I could have sworn it was also like just a podcast as Bad Blood, but I don't know. Maybe this was like a follow-up to the book. It's hosted by John Carreyrou himself.
Oh, it must be
A follow-up?
a follow-up to the book. Well,
That
this
makes
is great.
sense.
I'm
I bet
listening to-
maybe things have happened since the book came out, and it's like more information, you know?
I'm gonna listen to the fuck out of this.
Sweet. I know. I can't get enough of it.
I'll tell you that right now.
I literally can't get enough of it. After all of that,
I
I'm
know.
still, whenever anybody puts out like a YouTube video about her, I'm like, I'm watching that. I know all the stuff they're going to say. Like, I know what they're going to say, but I can't stop watching it.
Oh yeah, look at this. Episode 2 is called Ebola. If Theranos was still in business, would it have tried to exploit the COVID-19 pandemic?
Well,
Based on how Elizabeth Holmes tried to use the 2014 Ebola epidemic to land a big investment, the answer is very likely yes.
I don't
So this is
really-
gonna be some good.
that seems like not as interesting to me. Because that's like not
it's-
that's like not
it's-
the story anymore. It's just like
It's
conjecture.
Let's see. Let's look at the description. Bad Blood, the Final Chapter, tells the story of the breathtaking rise and fall of the tech founder Elizabeth Holmes.
Okay,
Hosted
but
by
that
John
is
Carreyrou.
not that story. That's just conjecture about what she might have done if it still existed.
No. I think it's about the episode's called Ebola, and it says based on how Elizabeth Holmes tried to use the
I see what
2014
you're
Ebola
saying.
epidemic.
You gotta listen.
I just don't like how that's framed. I don't like how that's framed then.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine if you don't like it.
That's fine. Yeah, I think this is new information that's not in the Bad Blood book.
Cool.
Listen, the thing about it, Ben, is that we trust our boy Carreyrou. Okay? Okay?
John's our boy.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Carreyrou's our boy.
John's our boots on the ground. Boy.
John's our boo.
John's our
on the
little
ground.
boots boy.
John's our boots baby.
John Boots Baby Carreyrou.
All right. Well, that's a great obsession. I sec that wreck
Thanks.
completely.
You
Great.
sex
Love
that
it.
wreck?
Sex that Carreyrou. Wreck.
What
My
the
right,
fuck?
our little boots baby.
The
Little boots boy.
I love it. I'm gonna watch that tonight.
all of it?
Great.
Well, I already watched
Did
the first 5 episodes.
You're gonna watch all of it?
okay.
The whole thing again?
Yeah, and then
I'll watch the whole thing.
yeah.
Tonight.
I feel
Fuck you.
I knew based on what you said, like I wonder if they're trying to make her sympathetic. They have not watched the 6th episode.
Okay.
I was like,
Yeah, I mean, in the 5th episode, well, we won't talk specifics about the episodes because we would like people to watch it.
when you hit the part that you really deeply don't like, I want you to text me.
Okay.
You'll know it. You'll know it.
All right. I'll text you.
Great.
Cool. Great obsession.
Thanks.
Should we pop into Ben now? Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
What's up, Ben?
All right, listen. My obsession starts with a story.
Okay.
Oh.
So the other day, I think it was like a couple weekends ago, Kylie and I were sitting on the couch and we had both taken some edibles. I think I was either playing a game or watching something on the TV. Mm-hmm. And Kylie was watching an ASMR video, as she often does at night when she's
Love it.
trying to get sleepy. And she was so... Usually she's very calm watching those, but this time she was very excited the whole time. Like, she kept audibly going like, oh my God, wow. And then like turning and showing me the screen. And the video she was watching was a Pokemon card, like, package reveal thing, like taking a bunch of Pokemon cards out of a booster pack and revealing all of them.
Fuck.
And,
Fuck.
and like she was just like so excited about all the cool Pokemon cards and all of like the cool art and the like the holographic ones and stuff. And it was adorable. And she like kept doing it, even though like we talked about it afterwards, the like next day when we were both sober, and she was like, yeah, I could tell you didn't really care, but I was just like really excited and wanted to keep showing it to you. So she like kept being like, oh my God, look at this.
Amazing.
And then that has since that night has kind of become like her favorite type of ASMR video. And in doing so, she's like learned a lot about the new Pokemon cards that are available, including like the there's a special kind that they made for the 25th anniversary called Celebration Packs, which is basically like every card has something special about it. Like they're either like all holographic or they're like all reprints of older cards and stuff.
Yes.
And so long story short, we got some Pokemon cards.
Yes.
It was really, we went to brunch at our favorite restaurant, Trident, last weekend.
What's your favorite?
And which is right next to Newberry Comics, the original Newberry Comics, in fact. And
Cool.
yeah, actually, it's not, you know, it is not the original because they moved locations recently, but that's where it was.
Not cool at all. Then.
Newberry Street. That's why it's there.
I take back my sarcastic cool.
And got some Pokemon cards there.
Hell yes.
And we got like some packs. We got these decks because I wanted to actually try the game.
Yeah.
Because I used to play as a kid, and I remember, and maybe Lucas can corroborate or deny this, but I remember we used to have a lot of Pokemon cards just like every fucking kid does, you know? And I really liked playing the actual game, and Lucas didn't. And I would have to beg him to play with me, and I feel like we eventually agreed that he would like play with me once a month or some dumb shit like that. It was, and yeah, I know. But so we got some cards and opened them, and that was really exciting. Talk about drip drip. Oh my god, opening packs of Pokemon cards. And the trick is that Kylie learned from her Pokemon card videos is that the special cards, so every pack is guaranteed to have like 2 special cards that are like rare or like holographic or both, and they're always in the same place in the pack, like the same number of cards back. So if you like open the pack and take with the cards not facing you, like the front of the cards not facing you, you take the first 4 cards out and put them on the other side, then you're guaranteed, if you flip it around, to have the last 2 cards you reveal be the special ones.
Beautiful.
And it's just like optimal drip drip for opening a pack of cards. And we got some really great ones. We have a cute pile for the cute ones, and then there's also these. They credit
a cute pile.
Yeah, of course. And there's they credit the illustrator on all of the cards, which is something that's very cool. And also, like some of the art is so like there's a lot more room for that sort of like creativity in Pokemon cards than there is in the game. I think for having like a lot of different types of art. And also a lot of different types of moves because they can all just have whatever names you want. It doesn't have to all be the same set of moves that all the Pokemon are learning. And there's one artist in particular called Yuka Mori, who all of their cards. I think she's a woman. Let me see. I don't want to misgender them. Yeah, she's a woman. Yuka Mori is an artist who does like miniature clay models, like really detailed clay models of the Pokemon, and then takes pictures of them in like a environment that she's put together, so it like looks like they're in the wild, and they are so fucking cute. Look up I'll just send you. Look up Yuka Mori Pokemon cards. It's YukaMorii.
Wait, are you gonna send it to us, or
I can send you a link for a Google image search.
You're gonna send us a link to Google image search?
Yeah, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so you can see a lot of them.
Oh my gosh, those are cute.
Aren't they great?
They're cute.
They're so cute.
These are like
and we got a
official
couple. We got a couple Yuka Moris.
Nice.
And then we also got, so like I said, in addition to the packs, we also bought like 2 decks that were just like ready to play with immediately.
Love it.
And
oh my god.
Turns out the Pokemon card game is also pretty dang fun, which is great because now we can keep getting cards. Oh, you did?
Yeah, I really did.
I didn't know you played.
I have some questions for you. Did you grab some of those cool like see-through bead rock things that you use in the game?
What?
We used to use like, don't you have to like put little stones on the cards?
Oh, for damage?
Yeah.
Damage counters? No, we just had like little cardboard ones. And also we one of the things we got came with dice that you can just like increment the damage counter really easily.
We used these like really cool, the original came with these like neato, let me get a good picture, like just glass, like like almost like glass marbles with but the end was flat. Mm-hmm. So I have like
I kind of remember that
nostalgia.
Did you find a picture?
That sounds familiar.
I'm trying to find a good one. Yeah, here, something like this. And if you're at home, you'll just have to look it up. Apologies. Oh, I forgot to do. Okay, that really does help.
Yeah. I remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, can we watch unboxing video together? Will you share your screen?
Right now?
Or do you not fuck with those?
They're really long.
Oh, are they? Can you at least send me the? I'll
I wanted to explicitly shout out her favorite one.
Okay.
The YouTube channel is ALB in Whisperland.
Oh.
ALB.
ALB in Whisperland.
Cute, cute name.
She is, and those are her favorite Pokemon cards videos. She does like hour-long ones.
Does she whisper though when she unboxes them?
Yeah, it's an ASMR video.
Okay. I might not like the whisper part, but not all ASMR
I don't
does
either.
whisper.
Probably the one called In Whisperland does, though.
You're right. You know what? You're right. I'll just Google for...
She's also... She's ALB in Wonderland on Twitter, I think, and she's gay, and it's really funny because she dresses in like all really bright pink and has like really bright pink hair, and then her wife is completely goth. And so
God, I love
they're
that.
like one of those couples that look hilarious next to each other.
I love that.
That's sweet.
Is it ALB in Wonderland on Twitter?
Oh,
yeah, it is. ALB in Wonderland.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm gonna really enjoy getting into some of these
Hell
videos.
yes.
Very much, and I'll message Kylie.
we highly recommend, if anyone wants to get some drip opening Pokemon cards, the celebration packs, because they're the most drip because every card is either rare or like holographic, and then also they have, like I said, reprints of like the original Pokemon cards that will just give you instant nostalgia. Like we got an old Blastoise, and I was like, I remember this card,
yeah.
you know.
What is it called? Celebration packs? They're so fucking cute, by the way.
Yeah. Also, the newest like set is Pokemon Brilliant Stars, which is also great. They're all great. They're really fun. I actually am genuinely excited to get more to actually like make my own deck and play
Love this.
with Kylie because it's fun. It's just a fun card game. They did a really good job of making, and maybe this sounds stupid to say, but like making the card game actually feel like a Pokemon battle from the games. Because like you have like you're battling one Pokemon at a time, and like you have, you know, your party of Pokemon that you fight with, and the way you win is by making 6 of your enemies Pokemon faint.
Are you drinking something carbonated?
No,
like,
I'm not. I just had to
there?
burp like 4 times in the middle of that sentence for some reason.
You're like having sympathy burps because like Hannah and I are drinking carbonated drinks, and like you're.
I don't know. That was weird. I had a lot of burps there, but yeah.
Wow.
It's fun. It's really fun.
Big nostalgia for me here, Ben. Big nostalgia.
Hell yeah. Same, dude. That's part of why it was so fun.
Dude.
Get into
Man.
it.
Yeah.
We should
absolutely.
fucking play some Pokemon cards at Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Yes.
I have to build my deck up. Maybe I can give it Smalley to learn it.
Hell yeah. You can also play it online. There's an online trading card
That's not
game.
the
Yeah, it's
same
probably not the
drip
same
drip.
drip.
It's true, although every pack comes with like a QR code you can scan that I think like puts all of those cards from that pack into your online collection.
Oh, that's cute.
So you can like build a parallel online collection.
That's cute.
Yeah, pretty neat.
That's pretty neat.
And
So
it's
Pokemon
cute.
cards and the Pokemon trading card game is my obsession. It's great.
Wow.
Erin, I think you can get those little glass things at like craft stores and stuff.
I'm loving this one Pokemon card called Kink.
You mean Clink?
Oh yeah, it is. That's my bad. That's me making it weird.
That's all right.
I don't want to Clink shame.
Ooh.
Cool.
Ooh, those are fun.
Well,
Love
good
Pokemon
obsession, man.
cards.
Very good.
Thanks.
Very good.
Great job, Ben. Great
Thanks,
job, Kylie.
Thanks. Thanks.
Good job, Kylie. Shout out.
Yeah, huge shout out to Kylie for this one.
Good shout out.
Hannah, what's your obsession?
My obsession is something that I've recently gotten back into in a sort of addictive type of way. It's actually because of the non-harmful addiction, hopefully. It's actually because of that same bundle, that Ukraine benefit bundle that I bought that had like 1 million games in it. There was one in it called Picross, which is just a really short little like browser-based Picross game.
Beautiful.
I feel like I have talked about Picross before, but not as an obsession.
I thought you brought Picrossmon as an obsession.
Picrossmon. I couldn't even. I didn't search that well. But did I call it Nonograms? Maybe.
I don't know.
I was looking on the index and I didn't see it. That's why I'm.
Huh. I remember you talking about Picrossmon.
I do too.
Yeah.
How do you spell it?
Picross or. Yeah, it's there's nothing about it in. Oh, I'm not in the episode index. Hold on.
Episode 6, Big Mouth, Puzzle Games, Spooky Snacks. Man, that was before we had fun titles.
Man.
Wait, but what was
Sad.
the obsession? Why isn't it in the puzzle index? Oh, it's called Puzzle Games. I got you.
Yeah,
did I say the puzzle index?
Yes, you did.
Oh my god.
Yes, it was like a more generalized, but this is like specifically I've been very obsessed with Picross. The ones in the game, the Picross game that I downloaded, they're all pretty easy and they're all like shaped like things, but then I kind of graduated into a browser-based Picross game, which I'll put a link to for you guys, where you can set your size, the size that you want to do and just start it, but it's just randomized, so it doesn't make a picture at the end. You just have to guess where all the things are, which should be less satisfying, I feel like, but for me it is not. It's still. Oh, and the fun thing about this particular one, I'm not necessarily recommending this site specifically, but if you win without making any mistakes, then the whole puzzle turns like undulating rainbow colors, which is really fun.
I don't remember how this works at all.
How can you not make any mistakes? Aren't you just clicking randomly?
No.
Oh wait, the numbers are like how many islands you have, right?
Oh, okay.
Yes, so I will explain.
Can you explain what it is?
Can you explain?
Can you explain it real quick?
Should I
Listen,
share
Hannah,
my
I don't have
screen?
time to go re-listen to episode 6 of the podcast.
Let me share my tab with you, and I'll start a new game.
Great. This
And
is
I'll
good.
do a simple one.
And I'll try to narrate well for the listener.
Yeah. So what we're looking at now is a 5x5 grid. So it's just like an empty set of boxes, right? And then there's numbers on the top and the left-hand side. And the numbers coincide with how many like unbroken blocks of filled in squares are supposed to be in that row or column. So
Okay.
the first thing you do is you kind of look for big numbers. So the biggest numbers I see on here are the 3s, because it's only a 5x5. So I know that what I'll start with is like I'll count from one side and then the other, and if it overlaps in the middle, then you know that is definitely one of your blocks, right? And then there's stuff like this one, which is a 2-2, which if you just adds up to 5. So you know that like if you've got a 2-2 or like a 1-1-1. If you include 2 + 2 is not 5, but in Picross, basically it is, because you have to have a gap in the middle. So a 1-1-1, you know it's going to be 1 gap 1 gap 1 if you're working in a 5x5 grid. So that's kind of like how it works. I don't know if there are instructions on this particular site, but I will put a link. So now you see I'm graying out some of the boxes, and that's just like to help me to know where there definitely isn't a solid box. So like normally I wouldn't be able to know yet that like so I'm looking at a row now it's actually a column that's a 1-2, and normally it wouldn't be clear to me where exactly that 2 was, but because I know that one of the adjacent blocks definitely doesn't have anything in it, I now know I can put a 2 here. And the same thing, there's a block in a row that only has a 2. But there's a block that's like definitely doesn't have anything in it right next to it. So now I can do that one as well. So you just go through and do that and keep doing that. And
for the listener, Hannah is like crazy fast at this, and it just like doesn't match my brain speed at comprehension of this puzzle game at all.
Yeah, well, I've been doing them a lot. I was up till like 2 a.m. the other night.
I like this.
Yeah, it's fun. I like to do.
I like that rainbow.
Yeah, it's fun, right? Mm-hmm. It's like and it's not a shape. You know, the ones that I did before.
I did one.
Were usually shapes.
I got a rainbow.
Hey, great job!
Fuck yes.
What I also appreciate about this particular browser game, which is not. You know, play Picross wherever you want. There's lots of places to play it. There's an app that I talked about, Picross Mon, still very good. But on this browser app, it keeps track of how many mistakes you made, and you don't get the rainbow if you make mistakes, but it lets you keep going if you want to. So, like, especially when it's randomized like this, I just said be specially, which I like. But especially when it's randomized like this, sometimes it just feels like there's not actually a way, like when it gets into bigger territory, that there's not actually a way to solve it. So like, I will at that point I'll either start a new game or I'll just start clicking randomly. And like, then it tells me, you know, more information, and it knows if I got it wrong, but it still lets me play. There's no like point at which you can't, finish the game. So I dig that. No judgment in this game, in this particular version of the game. So yeah, I've just been playing it a lot. It's stuck in my brain in the same way that like Minesweeper used to get stuck in my brain, or like, you know, Solitaire or Spider Solitaire. And I say used to, but I also still go through Minesweeper phases. But it's just like a really relaxing activity for me.
Itch for me as well.
Yes, Sudoku. Yeah, exactly. It's like all the same itches, scratches all those same itches. So if you like Sudoku, you would probably like this. Give it a try.
Fun.
It's fun. I like it. I'll put a link to this particular page. I think it's a nice clean interface. I like the way it does the blues and the grays.
I feel like I like the rainbow. Like the bigger. I could maybe do 10 by 10, but I feel like I'd like the really big ones.
I'm trying to get good at 10 by 15, and then maybe I'll graduate to 15 by 15. But I started out 20 by 20, and then I was like, oh, I hate this. And I went back down. So, yes, I agree. When it gets big, it does get, like, daunting, because there's a lot. Suddenly, you're just, like, counting. And counting and counting and counting. All the time you're counting. Shout out to Dev Lemons. She's so fucking funny. Do you guys ever watch Dev Lemons videos?
No.
I feel like, Erin, you would be into, this is side session, you would be into her YouTube channel. It's called Song Psych. And she does like, she's a young like music student who is also just like so fucking funny and a very good video editor, or she has a good video editor. I don't know which, but I just really enjoy her. Check her out.
Song Psych. Is that a different psych? Cool. Okay, cool.
She does like a bunch of music theory stuff. Sometimes she does like some commentary adjacent stuff, but very much of it is like music theory based.
Right.
All right, cool. Should we do homework? Since Erin is gonna play Picross for the foreseeable future.
No, I'm gonna go make dinner after this. Thank you very much. But yes,
You're welcome,
as we are on this podcast, I will be playing Picross.
Pikmon. Pick me.
I will be looking at a Picross unwrapping videos.
All right. Well, what's your homework though, Erin?
Okay. Yeah. Yep. That's a good question. Watch the Dropout on Hulu. Listen to the Dropout podcast on your podcast app, and also Bad Blood, the final chapter, I guess, on your podcast app. Haven't listened to it, but will. And read or have Bad Blood by John Carreyrou read to you if you're interested in the Theranos tea. Thank you very much.
Ben, what's your homework?
Get some Pokemon cards. Play some Pokemon card game. Enjoy your life.
Enjoy your life.
Enjoy your life.
Enjoy.
There's a guy I really work with like who, at the end of our weekly meetings, goes, "Let's do our best, everyone."
Wow.
Like completely earnestly, and I love it.
Wow.
I love that.
my homework is play Picross wherever you might like to. I'm going to put a link to this browser-based version in the description. You could check it out there. You could also play Picrossmon, which is an app that's still available, I believe. Or get a book. They also have like book versions that make pictures, as does Picrossmon. So just try it out. See what you think. And our podcast homework, if you would like to call us or text us and tell us your obsession, you can leave a voicemail at 774-326-0420.
Blaze it!
I feel like we're still waiting on follow up on something my parents owe us, and then also
From a while ago.
and what was that?
Yeah, curling.
Curling. That's right. How did we get into curling as a family? And also still, oh god, I fucking forgot. I almost finished this beer. And I forgot to say I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Anthropology. I'm on TikTok at Hannah and her cats. We are on Twitter at 2broadpod. We're on Instagram at WayTooBroad. You can email us at WayTooBroad@gmail.com. If you... Oh, I know. The last time that I did a book club, I got to the chapters where I think that you could write it as a love interest between Ella and her best friend Areta. And I asked if anybody agreed with me if they would send a voicemail or an email. And we have not received any. Maybe they just don't agree with me. That's fine.
Agree with Hannah, because it's true.
It's true. There's so much beautiful, loving chemistry between them that is great for a friendship, but it just could be written as more. And I believe that in my heart.
And she probably wanted it too, I feel like,
Probably. I just think it could make a really good addition to the inevitable miniseries that El Enchanted is going to get. So
That Hannah's going to produce.
Totally.
I'm going to really try to do another book club this week. I always put it in the description if I didn't do it, but I'm going to try to. Okay, where were we? We did the email. If you missed any of anything, if you're looking for the links that we talked about or whatever, you can find anything that you want at WayTooBroad.com or WayTooBod.com or NameYourselfJame.com. You can find anything that you need at EarnBen.com. You can find a cute dog on a boat at maxfun.org. You can find our intro and outro music, the full track of our intro and outro song on Friends of the Chaos's Bandcamp at friendsofthechaos.bandcamp.com/track/WayTooBroad. The link will be in the description. And that's it. So thanks for listening. We appreciate you.
And we love you.
We love you. And the podcast candle is now
Distinguished.
Distinguishable. Bye.
Goodbye. I'm getting the hang of this Picross here.
It's way too broad. What I'm trying to say, but I'll write it down and let it go. It's hard to know all the words I need to explain my heart.
Hello, welcome to the Post Show Book Club with Hannah. I'm Hannah, and this is the Post Show Book Club. I really wanted to do one of these this week, and then I was waffling because we got takeout for dinner tonight. Podcast comes out in an hour and a half. We got takeout for dinner tonight, and I was like, I'm so full. The burrito that was delivered to my home for me was the size of 2 or 3 burritos, and I ate about 2/3 of it. So like on the whole, even though I didn't eat the entire burrito, I ate like more than one burrito worth of food. So anyway, I went and looked at what the next chapter of the book was that would be coming. And not only is it short, but it's also, from the basic skimming I did, I think one of my favorite sort of world building chapters. So I'm going to read it to you anyway. And I am going to try to cut out any gastric distress noises that might happen to me while I'm doing this because I love you very much. So this is chapter 13. The last time that we joined Ella, she had just run away from her finishing school and stolen her, I think she stole her evil stepsister's wig. Not her stepsister yet, but you know what I mean. Left her best friend behind so that she didn't have to stop being friends with her. Okay. I slipped through the sleeping house as silently as a needle through lace. Outside, I waved farewell to the sleeping topiary. As I walked, the sky lightened. On the edge of Jen, that's the name of the town, I gave a baker the first sale of the day, 2 currant muffins and 2 loaves of traveler's bread in exchange for Hattie's wig, which he declared the finest he'd ever seen. Why a baker would know the quality of wigs is beyond me. That is my commentary. He'd never heard of Uaxi. Uaxi is the giant whose daughter's getting married, but said there were several giant farms up north. I heard they bake cookies as wide as my waist, he said. He drew a map for me in flour on his pastry board. The road would fork after I left Jen. The right-hand fork led back to Frel. The left fork was the one I wanted. My first landmark would be the Elves' Forest. After the forest, I would come to another fork. The road to the left, which I was not to take, led to the fens, where the ogres lived. The road on the right would lead me to the giants. When the cows became as big as barns, I would be there. It didn't seem far on the pastry board. My finger could travel the distance in a trice. The baker thought the trip would take 5 or 6 days by coach. How long do you think it would take to walk? Walking? He started to laugh. On foot? Alone? With ogres and bandits roaming the road? Sorry about that voice. Beyond Jen, I left the road, following it but too far away to be seen from it. I didn't fear pursuit by Madame Edith, who would probably conceal my disappearance for as long as possible in hopes I might return. The baker's worries about ogres and bandits I thought exaggerated, since a solitary traveler would hardly be worthwhile prey. However, I was wary of strangers. With my curse, I had to be. I wondered if I would meet Char on his way back to the fens. On his way to the fens. I liked thinking he might be near, but whether he was ahead of me or behind, or whether he had taken this route at all, I had no idea, and I wish my magic book had told me more. The road was little trafficked, and I was too happy about my escape to feel much fear. I was free of orders. If I wanted to eat my breakfast under a maple tree and watch the day grow between its leaves, I could, and did. If I wanted to skip or hop or run and slide on dew-wet leaves, I could, and did. And when the mood took me, I whistled or recited poems that I made up on the spot. I spent 2 glorious days this way, the best since before Mother had died. I saw deer and hares, and once at twilight, I swear I saw a phoenix rise, trailing smoke. On the 3rd day, I began to despair about reaching the giants in time. I hadn't even come to the Elves' Forest. If I had any chance of getting to the wedding, I should have passed the forest on the 2nd day, unless the baker had been mistaken about the distances from the forest to the giants. Perhaps they were much closer to each other than he thought. On the 4th day, I finished my last bit of traveler's bread. The land changed to sandy fields and low scrub, and I began to despair about reaching the giants before the newlyweds celebrated their 1st anniversary. On the 5th day, I knew I was doomed to wander in endless barrens till I died. On the 6th day, there were more trees, but I was too dazed by hunger to realize their significance. I was searching the ground for the lacy flowers of the wild carrot when I caught a shift in the shadows ahead of me, a flash of motion among the tree trunks. A deer? A walking bush? There, I saw it again. An elf! Kumekims Poud, I said. It means sun and rain, or hello in Elfian. Kumekims Poud. An elf woman approached me hesitantly. Her robe was woven in a dappled fabric, the shadow of leaves on the forest floor. Speak Elfian? Yungar, a little. I tried to smile at her, but her expression was so solemn I couldn't. Af enk poel? She asked. Doc ench Ella, jort her Sir Peter Hux Frel. I wondered if she knew father. Sir Peter, what a len. Her tone was dismissive. She stepped closer and stared at me. I met her gaze, and I hoped I didn't seem sly, too. Her eyes poured into me. I was sure she knew every one of my unkind thoughts, knew about the theft of Hattie's wig, knew each time I'd made my finishing school mistresses uncomfortable, and knew I hadn't had a bath since I'd left Jen. Mundlen, she smiled and took my hand. Her fingers felt waxy, like a leaf. Not like father. She led me to Slannon, the elves' chief trader, who spoke Kyrian fluently. He was the one father had mentioned in his letter. He confirmed that the baker's map was accurate. I didn't say anything, but my face must have shown how bitter my disappointment was. You will join your father at the giant's farm? He asked. I nodded. But I'm not hurrying to him, I blurted. Then I stopped. Oh, I'm sorry. I think this is how it's supposed to be read. But I'm not hurrying to him, I blurted, then stopped. You seek something else from the giants. His amber eyes searched my face. Someone I must find. I must find her. Slannon patted my arm. Elves will help. In the morning you will see, but you must spend the night as our guest. He smiled, showing pale green teeth. I smiled back, reassured, although one wouldn't expect green teeth to be reassuring. The elves were the same height as humans. With their mossy hair and green skin tinged with orange for the coming autumn, they were no more frightening than a pumpkin vine. And now, please join us for our evening meal. We sat at a table with 12 elves, who knew only a little Kyrian, but with my bit of Elfian and gestures and laughter, we cobbled together a language understood by all. Their supper was more drink than meal. The appetizer was lemon parsnip soup, followed by turtle barley soup, the main course, succeeded by a soup of chopped raw green vegetables, the salad course. Dessert was a fruit soup. It was all delicious, even though my jaw wished for something to chew on. When we finished eating, Slannon said that elves like to sleep soon after nightfall. He led me to my sleeping place. We passed the elves' nursery, where clusters of small hammocks hung from trees like bunches of grapes. 2 adult elves, one with a flute and one singing, threaded their way through, the singer occasionally rocking a group of hammocks gently. When we reached the oak from which my hammock hung, I asked for a lantern to read by. What book is better than Sleep When the Sun Goes Down? Slannon asked, calling for a light. I had been afraid to show Mandy's present to anyone since Hattie had taken Mother's necklace, but now I produced it from my carpet bag. Slannon opened it. The Shoemaker and the Elves returned as the first story. He roared with laughter. We are so tiny here! The elves can fit inside a shoe! He looked through the rest of the book, admiring the illustrations and reading parts of different stories. Then he turned back to the Shoemaker and the Elves, but it was gone. In its place was a story about a walrus and a camel. Fairy maid, he cried. This is precious. It must give you much comfort. He returned it to me. Do not read too late. You have a long journey tomorrow. After 2 stories, I blew out my light. The night was clear. My ceiling was sky and an eyelash of a moon. By shifting from side to side, I made my hammock swing me into sleep. In the morning, Slannon asked me to show my book to the other elves. To them, it was written in Elfian. They were enchanted and might have read all day, except that Slannon stopped them. You have given us much pleasure, he said, and now we'd like to show you something wonderful too. He lifted several packages onto the table he used to display goods for trading. Then he began to remove their oak leaf wrappings. Are these by Agulon? I asked, when a bit of pottery emerged. You've heard of him, he said, sounding pleased. Yes, he made them. A nut dish was unwrapped first, modeled in the shape of a centaur. It rested on the table but was in motion nonetheless. More than in motion, the centaur was motion. His head thrust into the wind. His arms hugged his form. His mane and tail streamed back, and without moving, such was Agulon's skill, his legs beat the ground. I actually think I read this chapter or a section of it on the podcast when the first time I talked about this book, because I love the descriptions of these of this pottery stuff so much, and all of this whole elf chapter I just love. Next came a dragon-shaped coal scuttle that glowed golden orange. Somehow, the air shimmered around its foot-long frame. Its ruby eyes were windows to an interior furnace. I was afraid to touch the beast for fear of being scorched. But my favorite was a stirrup cup molded in the shape of a wolf's head and shoulders, with the head lifted to the mouth. Doesn't make any sense. With the head lifted and the mouth pulled into an O for a long howl. The ridges in the pottery for his fur were so fine that each hair was defined. I felt the tension in his shoulders where the cup ended, and I imagined the rest of him, sitting but erect, with excitement running through him from his big paws to the end of his plumy tail. I loved his howl, which I could both hear and feel, long and plaintive, woebegone and heartsore, filled with yearning for what used to be and what would never come again. He's beautiful. They're all beautiful. They don't look as though someone made them. They look born. Slannon began to wrap the pieces up again. I hated to let them go. Wrap this one last, please. I touched the wolf's nose. When he finished, Slannon handed the package with the wolf to me. It's for you. Father had made clear that an Agulon was worth a great deal. I can't accept such a valuable gift, I said in my best manners mistress manner, but his hands closed around it. But my hands closed around it. You have, Slannon said, smiling. We like to give our pieces away sometimes, when we find someone who will love them. Thank you. Don't cry. Slannon gave me a green handkerchief. He looked at me consideringly. Sir Peter is a witty man and a shrewd trader, but if he had admired our things as you do, we would have been gladder to let him have them. But he told me that you are the best potters. He should have told us. How can I exchange this gnomish copper stew pot for 2 such paltry vases? He'd say. The workmanship doesn't compare, he'd say. And father thought Slannon a poor trader. My gift was packed on a fat pony along with enough food to last until I reached my destination. More elvish generosity, although the pony was alone. Vib ol peswado, Slannon said in parting. Stay in the shade. With any luck, you will reach the giants in 3 or 4 days. But I had no luck. That's the end of chapter 13. And I only had to take 1 burp break and 1 sneeze break and 2 nose blowing breaks. So hopefully I cut all of those out and you were none the wiser, but now you know. So yeah, I just super love the fact that the elves change color with the trees. I love how connected they are with the forest that they're part of. I love this like minute, like inconsequential detail that all of their food is soup. They just seem very lovingly kind of imagined and crafted to me. So I really enjoy that. And also kind of that they are their own like very independent culture that values very independently different things to people like the humans, like people more like, you know, Ella's father, who is like such a shrewd negotiator that he screwed himself out of getting any pieces by Agulin by not just complimenting the beautiful work that was before him and like appreciating it. So, and I enjoy that as a value in general, like valuing appreciation for beautiful things. So, anyway, have a beautiful week and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.